So hello everyone, this is your host the Cowboy and this is ELLIOTT WAVE Cafe with your chart of the day. It is Thursday, March 17th, and let's do the last video of the week. And I've gotten some requests. I think I've gotten 2 or 3 requests about TELADOC. And one of them was just recently saying that, hey, this count is quite complicated. Can you take a look at this thing and see kind of what's going on? So this was a company, I think it's a technology company. I mean, it started here at about $9 and it went up to almost 300 and what is this, 310, and it just topped along with a lot of these, high flyers somewhere in the spring, in the beginning, in the winter of 2021, so about a year ago. And I mean, this is a company that doesn't really make a lot of money, or at least they're not showing any profitability. It kind of took a little bit of the fundamental side of it, and they're not showing any solid earnings. They're losing money. So I guess they were just maybe, the market gave them a lot of credence here, especially with the rise in technology stocks, and basically got a lot overvalued. And here we come, towards some more appropriate levels, if you can call them that. But our job here is to take a look at the counts and see what they're telling us, and how we can come up with a decent count in here that's halfway right, or at least somewhere close to the truth. Because you know how it is with ELLIOTT WAVE, right? It's open to interpretation in many cases, and there is many ways where you can kind of take advantage, but you're trying to eliminate as much as possible errors. You're trying to follow the rules, you're trying to follow the guidelines and come up with your best interpretation at that moment. And as more data comes in, you can adjust. But what I'm seeing in here, it's basically a strong impulsive move out of here, that I'm seeing a bit consolidation right there. That looks, just by looking at it, it looks like kind of a triangle in there, and then another push higher with a very nice little fifth wave up at the top. And then since then, you're kind of pushing lower. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shift this chart over and just kind of hide the rest of the count and just kind of go like that. And I'm going to try to do this and go ahead and stop the video and try to come up. I mean, I've counted the whole thing from here to the lows, and do your best and see what you have and how you can kind of compare it with what I've got here. So I'm going to go and put in the first sequence. So basically what I'm seeing here, it's a wave 1 of the lows. Now, you might ask me, like, hey, what about this thing back in here? Well, you can include that if you really want. It could be a truncated move, part of this larger sell-off in here, or you can go in there in a 1, 2, 3, deep 4, and up in 5. You can do that. But no matter if you start from this level or from this level, this looks like a wave 1 of the lows. And then the next, because I'm seeing the next large correction, which is right there, right? That is the big correction that kind of happened after you hit that high of about $20. And let me just kind of get rid of this cursor here. So, as I'm looking at this thing, you're pulling back in a second wave, and then you're starting the next advance higher. So you see in here that I'm kind of seeing also a large correction into these levels, and then you're also breaking out of here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you're doing a larger third wave. Then you're coming lower and you're doing an A, B, C, D, and E for the triangle. Then you go up in 1, down in 2. You're having the next subdivision, and let's see kind of how they look in here into my count. So let's go to the next subdivision and see if I have it. Okay, I'm pressing the wrong keys again. And this is that 1, 2 that I've talked about. So very nice. 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you have the sharp rise in the third wave in there. So that's a pretty clean third wave if you ask me. Then you have a larger correction in this fourth. And then you push up in fifth. You're doing your fourth. You get out in a 1, in a 2. And then you're doing the 3, 4, and then up in 5. So far, so good. Let's see what's the next one. So the next one in here, it shows you the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think I showed that. That's it at the intermediate degree, and then we're going at the minor. So we're going 1, 2 inside this third leg, right? Because that's a pretty complicated leg in there. But you can see that you're pushing. So from fourth wave, you do a 1, 2, then you have another 1, 2, right? And that's the largest third wave advance right there. So 1, 2, 1, 2, then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, and 5, 4, and 5. So now let me see the next subdivision, and that is right in there. You can see it, 1, 2, 3, deep in 4, and then up in 5. So do I have anything else? No, I think that's it on this sequence. So you can kind of, you can kind of tell. You don't have to go really, really crazy, but the way I kind of look at it, I'm trying to slice it into the big pieces and try to look at them as corrections. Remember, there's not that many corrections, right? You're either in a fourth or you're in a second, or you're in a B. So, X is the other one, but this is not correction, right? This is impulse from the lows to the high. So you got to follow that kind of mindset. Well, if it's not a second, it must be a 4, right? So, that's kind of how you split it up. And then you're looking where you have a fifth wave, and then whatever happens before, it's kind of have to be a fourth wave. And you kind of start backwards. And all this analysis into the Elliott wave, it's basically, decomposing the count. And you don't have to start with the perfect sequence from the beginning in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can start with the wave fifth and then see if you have 5 waves in there. Then you move lower to the larger third. Then you look for a 4, you look for a second, and slowly, it's like building a puzzle. Slowly those pieces will start to kind of come into place, and you try to make sense of that count. And again, there's things where, we're all going to struggle and say, well, it doesn't look, but and don't forget, this is in hindsight. So I'm looking back at this counting this in real time, must have been a little bit harder, as the moves were kind of approaching in here and just kind of moving sideways. Excuse my window's open here. So, but this is kind of what I have. Now let me kind of hide some of these counts back, and let's go and take a look at the next sequence. And I'm going to slide this back, and now we're trying to kind of see what happens from this highest to this low. So what am I noticing here? I'm noticing a pretty aggressive sell-off, and then another aggressive sell-off in here. But what's interesting is that this sell-off, it is coming to the fourth wave of a lower degree right here, right? This is where you have the big support right there, right? That's an important level when you're basically cracking below this support. Then you're looking in the market and say, well, they're probably going to take it all the way down there, and then this one, if this one falls, they're probably going to take it all the way back here to about 30. So you have some previous levels in mind that you can combine with your Elliott wave analysis. So now let's go and take a look and see how the count looks in here. So for me, because this to me looks very impulsive, a very sharp decline, just like you've seen in previous counts that I've done in a bunch, in Baba, Palantir, Zoom, there's a lot of them that kind of look similarly to this one because they all kind of follow the same sell-off procedure in the NASDAQ because they were, annihilated here for the past year. And, you're looking at them. I'm seeing impulses in here, right? I'm not seeing something that looks like this, where you're coming down, then you're going up, and then you're coming down, and then you're going up, and then you're coming down. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing basically a big move lower. So wanting to count this corrective, it's possible, but it's counterintuitive to what the move shows you. So I wanted to stay respectful to this market and count it impulsive by the way this looks. So let's go and take a look and see if that makes any sense. So now we're going to go and I'm going to make this just slightly bigger. Let's just make this chart slightly bigger in there, and then let's look inside those subdivisions and see what we have in there. So here is the move inside this third wave right there. And let's go lower. Let's go to a 2-day chart and see kind of how it looks, right? So we can see it even better. Let me get my arrow right there, and then let's kind of subdivide that and see. So we were looking at this third wave. So now this looks like a wave 1 up into, that's the large third. So you got to put a third wave on there. This is a triangle, so you got to put a fourth in there. Now 1, 2, 3, sharp drop. 4, sharp drop in 5. Another mess in here, another sharp drop. Getting tired. Why is it a fifth? Because you're coming close to these levels. So now you're probably going to ask yourself, hey, how about this leg in here? What's going on with that one? Well, I think that's a leading diagonal. This is what I think. So I'm going to show you that in a second. So there it is. I think that's a leading. I think that goes in a wave 1, up in 2, down in 3, up in 4, and then down in 5, in a 3-3-3 structure. And why I'm thinking that this is part of this larger decline of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is because of the way the market kind of sells off here. You know, you're having that 1, 2, 1, 2 followed by a large third wave decline, right? Hey, think about this. Let's say I'm wrong, just like I'm, you know, just like I always am. Could be wrong. And you go here and you say, well, maybe this third goes here, and maybe this fourth was a flat in an A, B, and then up in C, and I still got to do a fourth and a fifth, right? Maybe this does look better as a larger third wave. Maybe this fourth wave matches this in here. That leaves you a little bit of an issue in this third wave because you have to go 1, 2, 3 triangle in 4, so you have a little bit bigger fourth than this wave too. But I guess it's fine. I don't have a problem with that if you want to extend this third wave this way, because you have the same issue back here, right? Where you're looking at this as a fourth wave and then a final drop in fifth, and you have a 1, a small 2, right? A 3, maybe a flat in 4 here, and then a final push up in fifth. This fourth wave here was pretty big, but I cannot count this A, B, C. This B wave is too small. It's got to go higher. It's got to go to at least 38% pullback. 38 to 50% for a B wave, and not only like 20% or 23% what this was, right? So this is almost more than likely it's a fourth wave and not a B wave, because then you go A, B, C, and you're going to tell me that's an X, and then it's another A, B, C, and you're going to make a double zigzag out of this thing when it's better suited as being impulsive, in my view. Okay, so what does this mean? What does this mean for this whole lesson, for this whole chart in here? Well, it means that, just like we've talked yesterday about BABA, if this move is complete, this fourth wave cannot go too much above this 4 right there, right? Now, if you're climbing above those levels, that tells you that the sequence here, it is complete. You're going to have to readjust your third wave, push it back up higher, push this fourth in there, push the fifth down, and now you're looking at the larger recovery upwards, when you're going to go in an A, B, and C, and this can take you all the way back towards, let's say, pick a level in here about 120. Maybe it goes higher. If I'm wrong and this is a double zigzag, you're going to go in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you think you're going to know if that's going to happen right away? You're not going to know. The market is not going to gift you that. You cannot force it, right? You're just going to have to wait and see if that's an A in here from these levels to the highs, or from here to the highs. And if it happens in 5 waves, it could be a A or it could be a 1. So it's up to you how you want to think it. The idea is that you're going to get a B wave after this rally. You're going to get a B wave, and this either a C or becomes a larger third wave, right? Where your trade comes in. This is a confirmation. That's the pullback. That's the tradable move. And you're looking higher. So usually what I do is I buy this B wave low, and then I target about 100% of the move. And it's in my course too, where I talk about this stuff, right? And you just go, and then you just kind of target that. But if you want to pick a low in here, I mean, there is a pretty good indication. I mean, this formation here shows you that there could be a low already formed, right? So if you want to go on the smaller time frame, or on a 2-day, maybe go on a 1-day chart, look for a 5-wave move, and then possibly start buying a little bit of a pullback in here, right? But then you got to get a 5-wave sequence. If you're not getting, if you're kind of moving sideways, you're wrong, and it's going to be a fourth, and either you're going to get your money stuck in here for a while, or you're going to make a new low, and you're going to, you're going to be like, oh my God, I think I'm wrong on this one. So you got to assume, that there could still be a little bit of weakness in there, right? The trends are too strong, too big, for us to be so super confident, that we're able to call the end of a move all of a sudden, right? We're some kind of a magician, and we're just say, man, that's the end of the move. So the market is giving you something here, just like in BABA yesterday, but it needs a little bit more. And that kind of, that will come. Right? It's just patience. Go play some pool and play some ball in the yard, and, video games, whatever you got to do to just kind of wait for this thing. But at least, you've got a plan in place. You have a little bit of a roadmap in what can happen and what's likely to happen here over the rest of the year. come on, we sold off the entirety of the 2021 plus the first quarter of 2022. So it's a big decline from 360, which fine, it was overvalued. And now you're back at $50, back into the support. So really, how much this thing can really trash lower? Not that much. It's probably near its completion here. So that's what I got for you guys. Listen, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it around, visit us into the pro room. I don't know, just do whatever, stay engaged, talk to your friends about it. I want this to be the best Elliott Wave learning channel on the net, okay? And it will be, you will become that, and I'm really committed. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.